All right, so with debate number 6 coming tomorrow for the Democratic primary, I thought I would go into the polling numbers to see where we stand in the race as we approach this crucial event. So right now, how about I'll start from the bottom? Williamson, is she still in the race? She's still in the race. Well, she's polling at 0.3%. She's not in the debate. Bennett, 0.6%, not in the debate. Castro, 0.9%. I think all of that 0.9% is with the Hispanic community in Texas and Los Angeles. And that's the facts. If you look at the actual polling numbers, he's polling at like 30% in California, and he's polling at like 30% in Texas among Hispanic voters and Latino. Steyer, 1.4%. He is on the debate stage, but as I went over before, if you take his polling numbers in the first four primary states alone, he is actually in the top five. He's hovering around 8 to 10% in those states alone. It's just he doesn't pick up nationally because he spends all this money in only key battleground states. That $100 million almost he invested into his own campaign. Gabbard, 1.8%. She is not in this debate. She doesn't have a path to a nomination. Um, I like her, but what I'd recommend for her supporters is to maybe, I don't know, stay with her, but we have 50 days. If she cannot crack 1 to 2% in the polls, please consider going to Yang or Sanders to give one of the guys who has a fighting chance to win more of a push, who is in the populist coalition, as I call them. Cory Booker, 2.6%. He was whining this week that the debate rules weren't fair. As soon as he couldn't make it, he wants them to change the rules so he could be in it. His campaign is really vanilla. There's not much excitement around it. He's getting some moderate voters, but that's really all he's getting. Some moderate voters that know Joe Biden's falling and also don't like the catfight between Warren Buttigieg and also think Klobuchar is boring. Klobuchar, right now, 3.2% nationally. She is getting a lot of momentum in Iowa and New Hampshire. Right now, she's polling at around 5 to 6% in those states, but other than that, she has no excitement around her. I'll be surprised if she's in the race past this primary, the first primary day. Andrew Yang has been surging a little bit. He is now top five in the polling, and I say top five because I don't consider Bloomberg a real candidate. I don't like him. I don't like that he just poured $35 million in 1 week, and now he's suddenly polling at an average of 5%. Like, that's totally disgusting. It shows some hypocrisy in the Democratic Party. That all these candidates behind Bloomberg can be on the campaign trail for a year, and Bloomberg could just hop in because he's a billionaire and have legitimacy somehow. And he buys legitimacy with the media because he's buying advertisements, which is paying the media commentators and reporters paycheck. So he has automatic credibility with them that shouldn't have. But Andrew Yang is doing great nationally right now. He just had a couple polls come in, 5%, 6%. He would want to show more growth, honestly. I think Yang expected more growth by now. After this next debate and then the coming month as a result of this, because there's only 7 people on stage, if Yang doesn't grow, expect to see a lot of his supporters say, well, I love Yang, but I have to go support Sanders. Or if Gabbard rose, I'd have to go support her. Because Yang supporters that have been there from the beginning, that came from the outside of the process, are going to stick with him, obviously. But 40% of Yang supporters were strong Bernie supporters in 2016. So it's hard for a lot of them. I've spoken to a lot of people like this that say, like, I love Yang, but it's hard to justify voting for him when we have someone who is, solid like Sanders that you could be throwing support behind that's polling in second place right now. Buttigieg, he's been the media's darling for a while. So he hasn't really got anything to show for it. Like, he was polling at 6 to 8% before, and he's still there nationally. But he is spending all this money in Iowa and New Hampshire, really low population states. So, although he is polling around 20% in both of those states, that won't show up in national numbers right here because they're low population, so it doesn't fit into the bigger picture. But he hasn't risen. I see so many media people saying, like, oh my God, he's surging so high in the polls because he's a new way forward. He's a new way forward that's actually backwards with old policies that don't work. But anyway, he isn't rising. Like, his numbers are going down substantially nationally. They're hoping that he could win Iowa and that'll flip the entire country towards his favor. Elizabeth Warren, dude, she should be done. honestly. She has no momentum. She just got endorsements from like 250 Obama staffers, which shows you something what's happening in the background. They decided Buttigieg can't work because he's just weak overall. Um, they know Biden can't work, and they want anything except for Sanders to win. And those Obama endorsements coming her way are actually one of the reasons that so many Yang Gabbard supporters will be switching to Bernie because they see how there's such an effort from the establishment to block Sanders, and that's for a reason. So Warren is struggling right now. She has no legitimacy with older voters or younger voters. She's trying to buy it right now. She walked back her Medicare for All plan. It just went downhill from there. Sanders is surging immensely. Um, at coming at 20% going into this debate. He has a couple polls where he's mid 20%. This is the highest he's been since only him and Biden were the two big candidates in the race. So he's really risen from where he was after the heart attack. That heart attack was actually key for him. It rallied his base and it set him on a trajectory to be in a position to possibly win now. I'm going into this debate. He's polling at a good number. So I'm expecting him to get attacked a little bit. Although some reports came out that candidates do not want to attack him because they think it's not a good strategy because so many people on Bernie's team are going to stay there. So if they attack him, it might be a net loss or a neutral gain. Joe Biden, the final polling numbers. I don't get it, dude. He's been at 28% his whole life, except, the 5 other times he ran for president and couldn't get any traction. People are just voting for him because they think they have to, honestly. Like, talk to anyone who supports Biden. They say, oh, I saw on MSNBC that Biden's the only person who's electable, and that's why they're voting for him. It's just deeply rooted. It's the South, the religious South. I don't know why he's the religious figure, but I guess he is. He just had a lot of prominent faith leaders come out in South Carolina to support him. So coming into this debate, his poll numbers are strong, I guess, after doing everything wrong for the whole campaign. So yeah, that's where everyone stands in the polling numbers nationally going into next debate. I'm going to make more videos talking about what candidates have to do going into next debate, but right now I just wanted to give a layout of where candidates stand in the polling numbers and where they might have to make a move. If you want to see the other videos I make about the Democratic debate, including a summary after the debate and like my winners and losers, please consider liking this video, commenting what you think, and subscribing for more conversations. Thank you for watching.